Hi there, guys. So today I wanted to come and talk about. I don't even have a title for it. I don't know what you would call it. Um, it's very real and very prevalent, and I know what it is, but I have not heard anyone else talk about it, which is great. But so I don't have a name for it. So I am just going to name it as I go along. But um, So I wanted to talk about being a therapy wife or therapy girlfriend. Um, and what I mean by that, to break it down, or rather to begin, we know in most instances, in most relationships, just in life, period, usually the women are the nurturers. That's a given. Women are more than likely, just for all intents and purposes and just the normal way that things go, women are normally going to be the one that is kind of going to be the counselor in most situations or circumstances. A lot of times people, and I don't know, maybe it may be different with men, because men, especially in this society, they talk to other men. A lot of them talk to women too, which is where I'm going with this. But the point is that normally people kind of gear more toward women helping them with a problem or answering a question, or if there's a situation going on in their life, and there is a husband and wife. A lot of times, you'll probably go to the wife. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of a thing. It's not the way, it's not that way, like straight across the board all the time, but in a lot of circumstances. And so, with that being the case, there are so many times when you will get the boyfriend, the husband, or whatever, and of course, he is going to go to his wife. He's going to look to her for answers. Um, I think that is also what that means a lot of times when men talk about a woman being their peace. A lot of them refer to that like in the home, just making a peaceful quiet so I can play my game, eat my food, and don't bother me, and keep the kids quiet and whatever. That's normally what that means, but it's also what it means when they got an issue, they got a burden, and a lot of times, just by the nature of a woman, she'll see automatically. I'm gonna say people in general, but especially her husband. She will see an issue where you're just not right, like you're not looking right, you're not acting right, you're being a little bit more quiet, you're kind of staying there, like it's something going on with you. You don't act like this all the time, like this is not um, your normal self, you know. And so a lot of times women will pick up on that, and depending on how close you are, she will stop and ask you, like, what's going on with you, how's it going, or whatever. And so what we find so many times in relationships is, it's hard to enter any type of relationships, but especially romantic relationships where people don't have some type of problem or issue. I mean, it's just really just a part of life. Everybody comes with something. I don't care I don't care if you're dating a psychiatrist, or a therapist or whatever. They still have their own issues because they're human and they live in this world. So it's not a phenomenon that people have problems and issues and things that they may or may not have dealt with already. I know self work, self healing, shadow work, meditation, like all of these things they've been around. But I think because of the internet and just kind of the time that we're in, a lot of those things are now beginning to everybody kind of knows about it now. Um, you can literally go on YouTube and get any kind of counseling, therapy, whatever it is that you need and want. Sometimes you can listen to stuff and don't even realize, well, golly, I didn't even know I had that issue. Or I didn't know that that's what that was. That kind of sound like me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of a thing because it's so much out there, and it's actually a beautiful thing. It really is. I personally wish I had those type of resources when I was growing up, and as a teen, as a young adult, even later. Like I there was just a lot that I didn't know. It really was a lot I didn't know, a lot of things I didn't understand about stuff because just kind of how the way my life was structured. I was the baby girl to three brothers. And my mom was a single mom, but she also was dealing with a lot of other emotional and mental issues and things like that, which is very, very common in the Black community. And it also goes into what this video is kind of about. We have so many issues, problems, things that plague us, especially in the Black community, where we've just kind of been doing it from generation to generation to generation because therapy is new for us. Like that's a new concept for us, and it's still a very hard concept that many of us still look at therapy as, oh, you think I'm crazy, or talking to someone, or get a little help, or even talk to them about whatever habit or something that you have, and we automatically will go to, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm not crazy, I'm not whatever. And so we are horribly resistant in the Black community to get therapy, counseling, any of that stuff. We literally we look at it as a horrible stigma. And we're still struggling with that. I think, I see more people more prone to therapy, the younger generations, but my Gen X generation are still pretty resistant to it, especially again the men. You'll find a lot more women who are open to counseling, therapy, and all these things than you will men. Even situations like couples therapy and marriage counseling and things like that. Many times it's the man that don't want to go. It's the man that, oh, we can work this out ourselves, and it's the man that all we need is such and such, and we don't need them in our business, and we ain't got to talk to nobody, and we got us, and a lot of times that doesn't work because you're the wife, you're the girlfriend or whatever, and even though he confides in you, and even though he comes to you with issues and problems and so forth, many times it's still going to be hard for you to counsel him. Like and it's just not good anyway, period. But it would be hard because you could be right about a thing. This is something that is huge in my life, even on my videos, but I'm not going to really go there. But There are things that I know I'm right about. There are things that I've had many years of experience about, but I will get people who will come to my channel and either argue with me or want to debate me, or because you don't look like no counselor, you don't look like you've been to college, you don't look like you're a therapist, and you're a woman, until they'll just completely tune you out. And a lot of times, if you, especially men, if you present the same exact thing coming out of somebody else's mouth, same exact thing, same concept, same truth, but because you said it, they're going to tune you out. They're not going to listen. Or because you're a woman and you said it, they're not going to listen. But a man will say the same exact thing, and oh man, you just enlightened my whole world, and man, the stars are shooting and the galaxies are exploding because you just said such and such. And a woman or other women or whatever have been telling you the same exact thing for years. And it's weird. So, with all of that said, I am here to tell you, ladies, be very, very leery. If you're in the relationship, it's going to be kind of hard to change, but if you are getting into a relationship with a man or beginning something with a guy, and you're doing that natural nurturing, that naturally, well, what's wrong and what's the issue, and what's going on with you? You're not, I can tell. I know something is wrong with you, and they tell you, and there's nothing wrong with that. They tell you, y'all talk about it and whatever. But what I'm talking about is when it becomes consistent. When he's using drinking or drugs or violence because of drinking and drugs, childhood traumas, all these type things and they just keep coming up, and they just keep coming up. I know one of the issues, you guys hear me talk a lot about my daughter's father, and I don't say what I say about him because I don't necessarily like him or something like that, but he is actually a person who really changed a lot in me, and I never met a person like him before, and I never seen the things that I saw in him or experienced those things with anybody else. And so that's why I use him. I don't do it to degrade or anything like that. I'm speaking my truth, and it is my truth. And so he had a lot of childhood trauma. I didn't, some of these things are hindsight, and I'm looking back, but he had a lot of childhood trauma. He had a lot of issues with his mother that he told me about, that he was, that traumatized him. Now, before I go off into this, I can't stop nobody from doing it, but it's usually men who come and say stuff like, oh, you should have seen the red flags, you should have got out, you shouldn't have did this, you shouldn't have done that. Well, hindsight is 20/20 for everybody. And this was a time in my life when, as I said, I never met anyone like him before, and I was trying to do this thing and make it work or whatever. I didn't know, never heard of the word narcissist, didn't know what that was. The things that, like I said, these childhood traumas and things like that, I don't know. I never heard. Dude would curse his mom out, not to her face, but he would literally get a nasty, horrible scowl on his face and talk about how she was a bitch and she was a da-da-da-da-da. And I was shocked, because that's something I would never say about my mom. Didn't have that kind of relationship with my mom, but I'd never heard anybody say that, and call me green, call me naive. I admit to that. So that was new to me. So it wasn't no red flags where I see this and let me get the hell up out of here. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have. We've all gone through and experienced things in relationships that we should have been like, yep, let me go. And you don't. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't know what to look for. Like, yeah, he's telling me this stuff and I'm listening and I'm helping and I'm a normal, not normal. I am a natural healer. I am a natural, like I've always been, even when I was a little girl with my friends and stuff, I was always the one that everybody came to. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't ask for that. I just had it. Like I've literally had people come up to me, don't know whatever, and can I ask you something? Or I got something going on in my life. I just wanted to know if this seemed right to you or this seemed normal to you or whatever. I've literally had people come to me and do that. I don't know them, but something, because I remember this woman who did that to me. She was a younger woman, and this was many years ago. And she asked me, I don't even know what at this point, but I answered her questions and everything. But when she was getting ready to leave, um, I asked her, I said, why did you come to me? I said, why did you pick me to come to? And she was just like, oh, I don't know. You were just sitting there and you just seem like, you might know what you're talking about. You just like, it was something about you that, kind of drew me that I figured you might know or whatever. And I'm just like, okay. I mean, I guess that's nice and, I guess it's good, I guess, but, it was strange to me. But at the end of the day, I've always had that. And so I probably should be a therapist, I probably should be because I have had that so many times. But as I say, it's not good a lot of times for the relationship. It's just really not good for you to be and play the counselor. But it's almost a natural thing is what I'm saying. So I guess the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I don't want women to beat themselves up for having those natural instincts, because there really are natural things that women go by and live by and operate in that a lot of times we don't even understand. But it's just something in us. And all women aren't like that. Everyone's different. But I just find that, as I was saying, going back to like Gen X, my generation of men, very, very, very reluctant to counseling, therapy, anything like that. They want to work it out on their own. They want to do what they have always done for years. Um, they want to drink it out. They want to smoke it out. They want to, probably do some type of drug. They want to sex it out. A lot of men, so many men, use relationships and sex for treatment. And it ain't treatment. It absolutely is not treatment. You need to go and talk to someone. And what's funny is that there's so many who will know that they got issues, know that they got problems, know that they struggle with whatever, but just won't do it. And I'm talking about as simple as just talking to someone. I'm not talking about getting on no pills. I'm not even talking necessarily about seeing a psychiatrist. I'm just talking about even a therapist, even a counselor. Even someone with a little bit more experience that you're going to be open to, that you'll listen to, and that you don't have to come home with and possibly get mad at them. Oh, because I don't really know why you even said so and so, and I don't even know why you would bring that. That's why it's not good for you to be the therapy wife or therapy girlfriend. And on top of that, it also puts a really big, it puts a lot more pressure and burden on you to fix people. And again, I find this more with men. I don't know the percentage of women or whatever, and and I don't see it so much from the women's side, I guess, except for like a friendship thing. But because I don't date women, I don't really know. So I see it a lot more with men. And as I said, the women are a lot more open to that therapy, counseling, talking to somebody else or whatever. A lot of times, even if it's just a spiritual leader or a spiritual, your pastor or something like that, for those of you who still take that route of religion and things like that. But it causes so many issues. And I want to bring up, I have a really good friend, and it's kind of funny because we were really just talking about this. um, it was some type of situation or whatever going on, and me and her got to talking, and she was talking about her guy, how he knows he has this problem and that problem and that problem, and he'll do, he's drinking and so forth, and the drinking makes him very aggressive and violent at some points. He hasn't done anything physically to her or anything like that, but there's damage to the house and other things like that. And, she'll get scared and nervous and things like that. And she brings up the childhood trauma, and she brings up the issues and so forth that he has and that he has dealt with. And he will take these situations and just jump from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, which is something, as I'm saying, that a lot of men do. Instead of going and get that counseling and that therapy, they just go find another woman. And you keep having the same problems, the same issues, and so forth in those relationships because you need actual, real, true professional help. There is a reason why there are professional therapists, professional counselors, and then it also separates you and your partner from getting into all that other, just getting into the muck and mire of your life, because it's not always good. It's not an easy way. I'm like, that's a lot. And I don't think a lot of people think about that. When you're trying to be a counselor and a therapist for your partner, it's hard. Because then also what you're doing, especially with a person who's going from relationship to relationship to relationship, what it does is you're not only do you have all this stuff, not only do you have all the childhood stuff and everything, now you got this stuff from that problem. And you got this stuff from that relationship, and you got this stuff packed on to that with this girl that you just was messing with and whatever. And so one of the things I'll say, ladies, is as you're taking your time to get to know someone, I'm not saying if they start coming to you with issues or problems or things like that, that you turn them away, don't listen, don't want to, hear them or whatever. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that when it starts being the same thing all the time, every time, and they're not even listening to what you're trying to tell them from the get-go, and next week they come to you with the same problem, and they drunk and they depressed and they crying and and you try to help them and work through that with that issue, and they're okay for a couple of 2-3 weeks or whatever, and then next thing you know, they mad, they upset, they crying, they are going through some mental trauma with literally the same issue, because it keeps coming up. Till you deal with stuff, it's just going to keep coming up. And then they come into you with that. And they come into you, and it just becomes a cycle. That's a red flag, ladies. That's a red flag. It's a red flag that this is going to be something that is more than likely going to end this relationship. Crazy and funny thing is that a lot of times people come to you with stuff, come to you with for solutions, or come to you with for your perspective on something. Do you not know a lot of times when you tell people whatever it is you got to tell them, you know how many times they get mad at you? They will literally be mad at you and upset with you because deep down they don't want to hear that. And another reason they get mad is because a lot of times, especially if you're really good and really spiritual and everything, if you hit those core issues and those core buttons and you start digging too much and you start going into this and tapping into that, they will get mad at you. They'll get mad at you. Why? Because they're not ready to fix that and they don't want you to know that. They'll be completely mad, upset, angry, and everything else, not because of their problem, not because of their issue. They mad at you because you brought it up and you pointed it out. But you came to me though. You know what I'm saying? So and again, that can cause many problems in relationships. A lot of times also people and I think I really just made this point, but people will come to you with issues, problems, concerns, traumas, whatever, and they don't really want to fix it. They kind of just, a lot of times people do it for sympathy. A lot of times people do it when they know they effing up and when they know you getting sick of them and you getting tired of them and you getting ready to move on, and then all of a sudden, oh well, when my mom abandoned me, and me and my brother used to fight all the time, and my brother would bully me, and da da da, and that's for you to feel sorry for them. And I'm not even saying that it's not true, but a lot of times it's a tactic for them to get sympathy from you and keep you in their life a little longer, or keep you hanging on for a little bit longer because, oh, my mom used to beat me when I was a kid, and my mom and I'm not saying that those are not valid issues and concerns and things, but what I'm saying, without at all trying to sound cruel, but what can I do about the trauma of your mom beating you and causing you to have whatever issues or whatever you have? You need to talk to a therapist so that they can work that out with you, go through that with you, unpack that with you, because all I can do is bring up the fact that, hey, my mom used to beat me too. Some people was okay with it. Some people was able to thrive and still get over it. Some people had absolute horrible trauma from that. They can't forgive. They hate her. They're mad at her. They're whatever. I mean, yeah. It's a funny thing. I know, and it's funny that, that is the way that is, because it's kind of like the difference between me and my very oldest brother. Like I said, my mom had a lot of stuff going for her. I really wish, because I wish that I had known a lot more about her life so that I could understand her better. A lot of things I learned and still am learning years after her death, from older family members and things like that who knew her more intimately. But she had these issues and emotional issues and some mental concerns and things like that, and a lot of pressures that it was hard for her raising 4 kids, being a single mom working, having 4 kids. It's not easy. And so she we were disciplined. We were absolutely disciplined. And I still don't know a whole lot because, like I say, I was a little girl, and I was, this is me as a little girl looking at things that I didn't quite always understand. And so, but my brother didn't take her discipline very well. My oldest brother did not take her discipline very well. I remember there were times when he was, and he has his own stuff going on, had his own stuff going on, still do, but he would literally begin to try to fight my mom. That's what I remember with that. Me and my other twin brothers, we kind of took it as the discipline for what it was, because it wasn't necessarily like she was just, getting on us for nothing, but that was how he, because of all the other stuff that he got going on with him, handled the situation. And so it caused him to have a lot of anger and animosity. And it seemed like to me, looking at that point from a little girl, that he like almost hated my mom. Um, I took the discipline and everything. I didn't like it and everything. And honestly and truly, maybe was because I was a girl. She really did not discipline me very long in my life. Like she kind of, I don't even really remember really getting disciplined past probably like 7 or 8 years old. She just really didn't, not with me, you know. Um, and really, in a way, not really with my brothers and all that either, but either way. Um, so, but the difference is the fact that I always still kept a love and an understanding for her, that she had a lot of stuff going on. Even when I didn't understand it as a kid, I didn't take it as I hate you, you hit me, I didn't take it like that, but my brother did. And like I say, he was older, so I don't know all of the ins and outs. I don't necessarily know if he got more whippings than I did, or like I don't know. I really, either I don't know or I don't remember, but I don't know. Um, but it just kind of, I said all of that to say that people process things differently. They really, really do. And so I just do not think, feel, or believe that it is good to allow people to, especially in your relationships, to bring and trauma dump and bring all those issues and things into your relationships and into your the situation that you have, especially when they are actually reluctant to go and get the therapy, the counseling, or whatever. That's really what I'm saying. If they go, if you go with them, if y'all go together, like whatever it is, then that's good. That's great. And that's better. But there are so many men who want to use their woman as their counselor, their therapist, their peace, their whatever. And women are not always built for that. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of stuff that, and I'm not saying men don't either, but there's a lot of stuff that women go through and deal with, and just on a regular day-to-day thing. And then to come and try to have to be my husband's counselor or my husband's whatever, because then you got to worry about, well, am I going to say the right thing? Am I saying the wrong thing? Well, what if I say this about his mom? He telling me this about his mom. Do I just listen and smile? Do I just listen and not really say nothing? Or, because what he's saying is bad and horrible and it's traumatic, and, it's making me mad at his mom too. So do I say I'm mad at your mom? He might flip out on me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like an unsurety. You don't really know. Again, this is why people need to go and have counseling. And if you are a woman who is getting counseling, going to counseling, therapy, or anything like that, I say don't accept a man in your life who is not also on that level of, doing it if he needs to. A person that's just straight off reluctant and just say no matter what, don't get involved with that, ladies. I'm telling you, don't do it. It's not good. It's not going to turn out good. Just don't do it. There were a couple of throw these quick examples in here. Then I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off here. But these real two quick examples. These are about guys that. One of them I was beginning to kind of start having a relationship with. The other one, we had actually kind of been in it for a little while, some years actually. And the first one, and these are examples also to let you know why it's not a good thing to do it, and how People, a lot of times men are not as open with their woman coming to them with issues and concerns and things like that, um, as women are. As women are. And I'm sitting here thinking, because there was actually something else that I was going to use with this example, but now it's kind of I'm kind of, I don't want to take up too much time. So there was this one particular guy, and he and I were beginning to start a relationship, whatever. We usually talked at night because I worked an evening shift, a mid-evening shift, and so I didn't get home till like late. He worked kind of like a morning to day shift, so he got home like kind of in the evening time. Anyway, so we would literally almost talk on the phone all the time, and we would literally just talk about each other's day, like, just whatever was going on in the day. And we were doing that, and I remember one day, I don't know what I had said, but whatever it was me talking about my day. And I don't know if he stopped me or whatever, but some kind of way, he said that I was using him for an emotional punching bag, and that I was always complaining to him. And that, first of all, took me it was a shock to me, first of all, because like I didn't know he felt that way, and this is what we did like all the time. And I wasn't complaining. I was literally telling him about my day, and what I was telling him about it was actually a good day. Like that particular job that I was on, I really didn't have a lot of bad days. So it was just really just me talking. But what it let me know is that he didn't want to hear that, or he didn't want me to, I don't know, talk about my day. I don't know. But it really surprised me that he would come at me and say that I was using him for an emotional punching bag. Like that was really weird to me. But anyway. So then the other guy that I had been talking to for a much longer time, now this day, and I may be able to tell you guys about it in another video, but this day was still by far to date the worst day I've ever had with a client. Absolutely. This one single-handed little old white lady, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible day. I don't know. She definitely had some stuff going on up here, definitely. But I had never met anyone like her, and I've been in the field for many, many years. Have met a whole lot of people, but this particular woman was, not only did she have her issues and her problems, she was doing the things that she was doing out of spite, and to be mean and to be nasty and to be ugly. And on top of that, she was a racist. With that being said, I came home. I came home, and he and I got on the phone, and we weren't even had really even started talking about anything, and I began the conversation because it was so much on me. I literally cried. I literally cried. And that's never happened with me having no bad day, ever. And so I'm talking to him, and I started to tell him about, oh my God, like this lady today, like this was the worst period day ever I've ever really had. He stopped me right there and told me he was in a good mood, he had a good day, and that he did not want to hear what I had to say if it was going to ruin his day. He had a good day. I don't want you to ruin my day with your problem or whatever went on with you. Not only did that hurt, not only did my heart sink, not only was I in shock, I was surprised because, first of all, I would have never said anything like that to him, ever. I would have never said anything like that to anybody, period, because that's just not my personality. But for us to have shared all that we shared and to be as close as we was. Now, granted, I don't think I've ever really shared a problem or issue with him. Unless it was just maybe like a story or something like that. Um, but he had definitely come to me with things about his parents, his life. He had a lot of different issues about racism and black and white and things like that. He was he was well, he wasn't even mixed. He was all black. It's just that where he came from, um, which I can't think of right now, but they all, where he comes from, that portion of Africa, and I wish I could remember it. It's like an island, and the majority of them are like really light skin, curly hair, the whole type thing. Some of them are, as dark as me, is what he said, but I can't remember that island at the moment. But either way, it doesn't really matter. He had issues with racism and race and things like that. And so we would have those talks and discussions and everything. And it was just really hurtful for him to come out and tell me that so quick, so cut, so just straight up. I don't want to hear about your day. If it's gonna bring me down, I don't want to hear. And it's just like, damn, like for real. Um, but yeah, so those were those two issues, and those were two issues I wanted to bring up because a lot of times men do expect women to be the kind of the dumping ground, or the one to listen and take the problems and take the issues, but then when it's your turn, they can't handle it, don't want to hear it, don't whatever. I don't know why it's like that. I don't, because there are male counselors, there's male therapists, but it is. Maybe I just had two guys that were insensitive. I don't know. I don't know. But the point of this video is, like I said, ladies, let men get healed. Let a man that you're seeing these issues and problems and concerns, um, hopefully in the beginning of your relationship, make sure he's willing to talk to someone or go to counseling or things like that. Because if he's not, it's just really going to be worse on you, because he's going to continue to look to you to be that therapy girlfriend, that therapy wife, and he's going to want you to heal him instead of literally getting the help that he needs. That'll help make the relationship better. Even if you have kids, him getting help, counseling, whatever, will help with, hopefully things that you don't have to go through even with your kids, or things that may be passed down to your kids. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very vital. And as I said, we just don't, a lot of us still really don't do that in our community. I see it more. I really do. I see it a lot more with the younger men and younger generations. It's almost in a way becoming a thing for people to be talking about, I'm in therapy and I got this disorder and I have this and whatever. I mean, people are just very out in the open with it now. Whereas, back in the day, yeah, it was a stigma. It was a horrible stigma. So you guys, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Please hit all notifications so that you know when I upload new videos. Let me know what you think about this topic. If you have had issues or situations in your life where, your guy, your man, your person that you're interested in, and even the flip side of a woman, it could be this, you want to share. I just said I wasn't talking about women because, like I said, I don't date women, and so I don't really know that aspect of it. But if there's a guy or whoever that wants to come and share about a woman's experience like that, share it. Put it in the comments. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Let me know what you think about the topic. Do you get it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Did it come out right? What I'm saying? And you guys just thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. To the next video. See you next time.